Welcome back to this class. We'll continue from where we stopped the last time. Here, we'll be looking at characteristics of queuing system. What are the attributes that characterize a typical queuing system or queuing systems? Queuing system is characterized by the distribution of the arrival and the distribution of the service. The arrival and service can follow any given distribution, or we can alternatively go and observe what the situation is in real life and use the data that we obtain from the queuing system to fit the distribution. All right? Now, it is observed, that the arrival rate often follows the Poisson distribution, which is a memoryless process denoted by lambda per hour. It is also observed that service time follows exponential distribution at the rate of mu per hour. Now, the exponential and the Poisson distribution has a relationship. Okay, in this queuing model, the relationship between the Poisson and exponential distribution denoted by lambda and mu is as follows. For if an infinite queuing model, lambda over mu should always be less than 1. Why? For example, if we have customers arriving at the rate of 5 per hour and customers are being served at the rate of 6 per hour, it means lambda over mu will be 0.83. That is to say, the queue will be decreasing by 1 per hour. But what happens if lambda over mu is greater than 1 for an infinite queue length? If, for instance, 5 customers arrive per hour, however, only 4 customers are served per hour, we'll have lambda over mu to be 1.25, which is greater than 1. That is to say, 5 customers enter the system but per hour, but 4 comes out of the system per hour. Invariably, the queue will increase by 1 customer every hour. It means that at least 1 customer will not get served in the end of the day. Now, apart from the arrival and service behavior characteristics of the queuing system, there are also behaviors that are associated with the arrivals of entity in queuing models or queuing systems. One, most queuing formulas assume that all arrivals stay until service is completed. This is actually not the case. All right, I can choose to go to bank, for instance, to cash out money, but when I get there and realize that there's too much queue, I might just decide to go when I have other things to do. Okay, I might want to put a call across to customer care representative on a mobile communication network. And if in the end I have waited for over 30 minutes and nobody is there to respond to my call, to attend to me, I may just choose to abort the call, cut the call, or end the call and try some other time. That is, I really did not get served at the end of the day. Okay, now the 3 major characteristics of arrival in a queuing model are balking, jockeying, or reneging. Okay, balking refers to a situation when customers do not join the queue. Like in the example I gave earlier, I got to the bank and realized that there's so much queue there. I just decided to turn back because I don't have the ability to stay there for too long. I don't want to stand too long so that I will not probably collapse due to suffocation. That is an example of what? Balking. Then there's another case called jockeying, and this refers to the movement of a waiting customer from one queue to another. That is of short length or which appears to be moving faster. Okay, now this can only be made possible in a situation where there are multiple lines, multiple lines. Okay, that is, there is um, more than one queuing line for the entities to get served. If, for instance, you get it, I go to the bank and realize that there are four tellers, all right, and there are four lines, but in the end, there are some lines that are shorter than some. Maybe one has 20 customers standing, one had 18, and one had 25. I would have tendency of joining the shorter queue, believing that I will get served faster on that particular line. But if at the end of the day, I realize that the one that even had 25 customers had a faster service rate, why I became probably number 13 in the line I joined, and the last person on the other queue is number 10. So by the time I go to that such a queue, I'll become number 11. I'll believe that I'll probably get served in that line. By the time I'll go there now, I'll become number what? 11. Okay? But it is still possible that at the end of the day, I get delayed on that line, then the line that left will become 8 persons on the line while I'm still number 10. So I'll have tendency to go back to where I came from. But all of these things can only happen the first few minutes of joining the line. Why? Because after some time, some other persons will come and join the line at your back, such that by the time you leave, you might not be able to come back regardless of the performance of the line that you had gone to join. Because by the time you come back, you might not even become number 11 as it were. You might become number 21 or 25 as the case may be. Okay. Now the last behavior here is reneging. This refers to a situation when customer joins the queue but gives up and leave before completing service. Such a customer must have arrived the system and joined the queue or the line. But after waiting and waiting and waiting, realizes that the queue does not seem to be making any progress. The customers decide to leave the system. That is an example of what reneging. Now, apart from the those three behavior on the arrival, there are other characteristics of a queuing system that we still want to consider. We will be looking at queuing discipline here. When we say queuing discipline, we are talking about the entities get served. That is the order in which they are served, the way the resources are divided among the customers or the entity. All right. Now there are four ways that we'll be looking at here. The first one is the first in, first out. In some cases, they call it first come, first serve. All right. This principle states that customers are served one at a time, and that the customer that has been waiting the longest is served first. That is, the customer that had the longest wait time gets served. When you join the queue first, another person comes later, another later, it means you are the one that have waited for the longest time. So you get served. That is why it is called first come, first serve, or first in, first out queuing discipline. Now, there is also the last in, first out. This principle states that customers get served also one at a time. However, the customer with the shortest wait time will be served first. That is, if you come too early or you're the first person to join the line, you'll be the last person that will get served. The last person that comes first, that comes to the line, gets served first. But I think this particular queuing discipline might encounter great problem in practice when it comes to human entity. Can't imagine getting to the bank and you're the first to get there. And by the time they want to start attending to customers, you become the last person that will be attended to. That's going to cause a lot of problem in practice. Now, apart from the first in, first out, last in, first out, there is another one called processor sharing. In this case, customers are served equally. Network capacity is shared between customers, and they all effectively experience the same delay. There's time to share service, it's time to render service. All the customers or all the entities in that system we experience the same delay. All of you get served at the same time. Now the last one is priority. In this case, customers with the high priority are served first. Customers with high priority what are served first. Now, when you get to the banking, for instance, they just tell you that those of you that have less than 100,000 to pay in or to deposit should join a particular line. Those of you that have over 100,000 to 500,000 should join one line. Then those that have a deposit of 1 million and above should come inside. All right. So they may tend to attend to those that have higher amount of money to deposit before attending to those that have little amount to deposit. So those are the four queuing discipline that relates to queuing system. So in our next video, we will continue from this point. Thank you for watching this video.